What's going on, fellow engineers? So I had a conversation with someone today, and they were like, "Yeah, today is Tuesday," and I'm like, no, it's actually Wednesday." And so with that, that inspired me to create an application that basically asks a series of questions to help you determine the day of the week. I'll talk more about that right after this intro. So the concept of this particular application, due to the situation with coronavirus and people are basically having their normal routines completely interrupted or at least modified in some shape, form, or fashion, I've noticed that a lot of people are kind of just losing what day of the week it is. So I figured, hey, I could create an application that could help me determine what day of the week it is based upon things that normally take place. Some of those things would be like, did my alarm go off today? Because my alarm is set to go off only on Monday through Friday. Was the trash taken out? Or do the neighbors have their trash cans out on the street? If they do, then it's probably either a Tuesday or a Friday. If I don't see the mailman, it's probably Sunday. So asking a series of questions to help trying to narrow down what day of the week it is. So I'm going to walk you through the code that I created, and you can take this code. I'll have it available on my GitHub. So the link to my GitHub will be down in the description below, so you can make a copy of this and add or remove the questions that apply to your particular situation. All right, so as I go over to Visual Studio Code, this is a .NET Core console application, if you are wondering. So everything in here is written in C Sharp. So to begin, we just have a basic program class. That's the default class that you get when you create a console application. And so I have a private integer variable for each day of the week, and all of those are initialized to 0. And the next thing is there is a function called process input. And so basically every time you answer a question, that input is ran through this particular function, dropped to lowercase so that the conditional statements are easier and have less conditions associated with them. And then we go to the main, which is the actual program itself. And so the first question, did my alarm go off? And so you enter in yes or no. And from that, you take that input, which is captured by the console.readline, and put into the input variable. Then that input variable is passed to the process input function, which we show up here. The input value is then changed to lowercase. The whole variable is changed to lowercase. And then that's set to a return value. And then that return value is, well, returned. And then so the return value comes back here and is placed back into the input variable. And then in our if condition, if the input value is equal to y, then we're going to say increment the days of the week that apply to that particular question. And so I'm pretty much doing this for every question. It's just a repeat. The question changes and the days of the week change. If you notice, I have Monday through Saturday here for if the mailman ran, but I have Monday through Friday here if my alarm goes off. And so the final results, which you will have at the very end, is basically saying today is probably one of the days with the highest value. And you can actually go and write in logic, basically do a bunch of ifs. So if Sunday is the highest, then go from there and so forth, and just compare each day of the week to the highest day of the week, and then from there print out what is the highest day of the week. But I'm just printing out everything for simplicity's sake. And so basically the value that is shown with the highest count is the more than likely the day of the week that it currently is. So now I'm going to show you how that application works. I'm going to pull it up and run .NET run from the project directory. All right, and so the first question, did my alarm go off? Yes. Did the mailman run? Yes. Is there a newspaper in the driveway? No. And so basically you continue answering the questions that are asked here, and at the end of all your questions, you get this summary here, which is the final results. And so based upon the questions that I asked, it gives a count of Wednesday being 4, which is the highest compared to all the others. And so today is actually Wednesday, as you see up here, Wednesday the 8th. And so this is correct. Like I mentioned, the more questions that you ask, the more accurate this day of the week logic program will be. I just put a few, several questions in here that immediately came to mind that I could narrow down that only happen on particular days of the week. There may be some scenarios, as you see here, that I have 3 days that's matching for a count of 2, and then I have 2 days here that are matching for a count of 3. And so from that, it narrows it down. It may not be exactly perfect, but it will narrow it down. Like I say, the more questions you ask, the more narrow you can get it, and the more accurate you can get it. So that particularly covers this particular application. If you have any questions that you're going to use in your application, I would like to hear those by dropping those in the comment section below. Also, please be sure to check me out on Instagram and Twitter at almostengr, and also my website, thealmostengineer.com. And don't forget, quarantine and code. And until next time, peace out.